Tonight, preparing for a surge. That's what Duluth hospitals say they're doing as cases of COVID-19 continue to rise across the region.
Michigan's governor declares a major disaster declaration in an effort to help provide meals, housing, assistance counseling, and more.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. More cases of the coronavirus are popping up across the Northland.
St. Louis County reported its fourth and fifth confirmed COVID-19 patients to date. County officials did not immediately share their ages or conditions. So far, St. Louis County is reporting the only confirmed cases in northeastern Minnesota. We learned of the first one last Saturday.
Meanwhile, Bayfield County is reporting its second confirmed case and the first case of community spread in the region. The patient who tested positive had not traveled recently, nor had any known contact with someone else who tested positive. Health officials did not release any additional information as far as the person's age, condition, or where they live. Douglas County, by the way, has 4 confirmed cases. Conserving their resources and preparing for a surge, the leaders of Duluth's 2 hospitals say that's their focus as they wait to see how far coronavirus spreads in our community. It's having a very real impact on hospital staff. CBS 3's Natalie Grant reports.
A plea for patience and compassion from the leaders of Duluth's 2 hospitals.
This is something none of us have ever experienced in our lives.
The hospitals say that they're using the governor's 2-week shutdown to prepare for a surge in coronavirus patients. The lack of routine procedures means less work for hospital staff. St. Luke's has cut hours and laid off 7 people who they plan to bring back.
Once the surge arrives, it'll be all hands on deck. Until then, we're in kind of this no man's land where we have to be very good stewards of the resources that we have.
Essentia hasn't taken those staffing steps yet, but say they might.
We are trying to preserve our resources, recognizing this is a marathon. If you don't have the money to pay people to be here to take care of, when we really have a surge, that's going to be a major problem. So we are trying to be responsible about that.
Another resource they're trying to conserve, coronavirus tests.
If we burn them all early in the process, and when we have people presenting to the hospital with high probability of COVID-19, we won't have those.
As the number of cases continues to climb, the hospitals are asking everyone to do what they can to limit the spread.
We're very hopeful. We're planning for whatever might come, but it really is the responsibility of all of you.
The hospitals say they are following state guidelines as far as who gets tested, limited it to people in the hospital, healthcare workers, and people living in group settings. One piece of good news, they say they're now getting results in just 1 day.
One local nurse says he was surprised by what the hospitals had to say today, especially about the layoffs. Chris Rubesh, an RN at Essentia, says he learns more from the press conferences than internal communication. As far as the layoffs, he says he understands the need to balance fiscal responsibility, but hopes hospital management also considers their responsibility to staff. Rubesh says the nurses union would like to be included in the planning process.
There are HR, patient safety, nurse safety issues that we'd like to discuss with them, and to date they have not been interested in doing that. And the sooner we can get those issues taken care of, the sooner we can reduce some of the chaos and be ready to care for patients.
He added he hopes hospital management and staff can work together to make sure they're prepared for whatever happens.
All right, let's check in on the weather. Pretty nice day today. Here, let's try this again. It was a pretty nice day today, Dave. There we go.
Yes, Tony, it sure was. And tomorrow should be just about as nice. It's the weekend that's looking a little bit iffy. The here and now shows this live look of Cass Lake. Sky is blue, roads are dry, snow is retreating. And, for the week ahead, I think snow is going to retreat because temperatures will be warming. And rain over the weekend might help wash some of it away. Probably been hearing some rumbles about what's coming up this weekend, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But tomorrow, high pressure has a hold of us, so Friday should be sunny, a rather pleasant day. That low over towards South Dakota, though, brings in upwards of a 70% chance of mix come Saturday, and I frankly think it's going to be more of a rain than snow event, but that rain could trigger some localized flooding problems with the still frozen ground. So cast our eye upon Friday, which still looks glorious. Partly cloudy in the morning, partly cloudy at noon. Coming back home, though, starting to get a little bit cloudier. That's in advance of the weekend system, and I'll expound more on my theory of rain versus snow coming up in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Minnesota's governor says he recognizes that this is a very stressful time for everyone. During a conference call with news reporters today, Governor Tim Walz answered some questions about his stay-at-home order. It goes into effect at 11:59 tomorrow night and asks Minnesota residents to stay at home as much as possible for the next 2 weeks, unless you're going out for the essentials. He also applauded the state's public and private partnerships. But what Walz didn't approve of is racist actions targeted at Minnesota's Asian community during the COVID-19 pandemic.
So I want to be very clear that that community is integral as any one of us to Minnesota. They're part of who we are, part of what we are. Across the state, we can't tolerate discrimination of our neighbors. We know it's unacceptable. This virus not going to discriminate, and we're not going to either. So
Walz encouraged that hate crimes to be reported to local law enforcement.
The governor also announced today that 6 Minnesota foundations are launching an emergency child care grant program. The goal is to provide financial support to licensed child care providers in greater Minnesota serving families of essential workers. So far, the foundations have contributed $300,000 in grant money. We have more information on our website.
In the city of Virginia have declared a state of emergency. Fire Chief Alan Lewis posted a video today explaining the state's stay-at-home order to the residents. He says things like utilities, fire, police, and more will still be operating, but he had some advice on when to contact first responders.
We want to just encourage you to make sure that you utilize 911 for true emergencies. This is very, very important. We don't want to overwhelm hospitals. We don't want to overwhelm our EMS systems.
Lewis also said mining is considered an essential job, according to the governor's stay-at-home order.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer said she has requested a major disaster declaration from President Trump to help with the state's coronavirus response effort. Whitmer said such a declaration would help the state provide meals, housing assistance, counseling, therapy, and the means to add additional hospital capacity.
This is a novel virus. It is incredibly contagious and deadly. There is no cure and there is no vaccine. And we have too few tests and masks and gloves and swabs and gowns for our medical providers. The only tool we have to fight this and to support our healthcare system is to stay home.
In the meantime, the U.S. Senate passed a huge $2.2 trillion rescue package. It now heads to the House for a vote.
Let's take a look at the number of cases around the area. Michigan is now at roughly 2,900 cases with 60 deaths. In Wisconsin, they saw the number of cases rise to 700 today with 10 deaths. Minnesota has almost 350 cases and reported the second death in the state today. In the United States, there are now more than 82,000 cases and nearly 1,200 deaths. Worldwide, there are more than 500,000 cases with 23,000 deaths and almost 125,000 recoveries.
More action from lawmakers. That's what leaders from organizations around Minnesota that provide emergency shelter and other services to people experiencing homelessness are asking of lawmakers as COVID-19 spreads. People experiencing homelessness are particularly vulnerable to infectious diseases due to congregate living quarters, limited access to health care, and other factors. Those representing the homeless population, including Lee Stewart from Chum in Duluth, are asking for coronavirus response money to be used to support their initiatives.
We are advocating for $500 million in bonds for housing because we know that shelters save lives and housing ends homelessness. And that's what we need to do is make those long-term investments so we have housing that is affordable for everyone across our state.
The state recently earmarked $200 million for coronavirus relief efforts statewide. Homeless advocates are asking for a portion of that to be used to help the state's homeless population. As we reported earlier this week, St. Louis County is looking for a place to house homeless individuals if they become sick and need to be quarantined. County officials say they are still working to finalize a contract with a facility.
Still to come, a lot of parents are now having to make sure their kids are keeping up with their schoolwork at home. Coming up, we have the best tips and tricks to make sure they stay on task.
Today came up just a little bit cooler than normal. 37 our high temp, 39 is the normal. Tomorrow, though, I think mid-40s are possible. By Monday, could crack 50 degrees like I've been hoping. In between, though, there's a chance for a rain-snow mix that we need to talk about, and we'll do our chat coming up after this break.
I'm Dr. Jordan Blessing, and I'm a pediatric hospitalist at St. Luke's Hospital. Advice I give to parents and patients is to ask questions. Medicine's very much a conversation. I'd rather spend more time visiting about their questions than have them worrying about something that I could have been helpful with. I started woodworking in 6th grade. At work, I get to creatively solve problems, and in the wood shop, I get to creatively dream up ideas and then build those ideas. Working in medicine, pediatrics in particular, they remind me what's important each day.
So I'm going to hold on promoting you this quarter.
Drop the taco. Get in the car. Does this Sentra feel like a compromise to you? The handling, it's good, right? No compromise there. Nope. Watch this. Breathe. Your automatic braking. So if this Nissan Sentra isn't going to compromise, why should you?
The all-new Nissan Sentra with more standard safety features than any other car in its class. Get a low $199 per month lease or get 0% financing for 36 months on the 2020 Sentra.
Ever since we opened Culver's, community has meant the world to us, especially in times like these when the going gets tough. That's why we're keeping our drive-thrus open, continuing to cook every meal to order as if you were a guest in our home. We want to be here for you, today and every day, sharing our smile and safely serving with all our heart. Caring for you and your family, it's our pleasure. Together, we'll get through this.
Operate worry-free on terrain where other machines just won't cut it? Kubota SVL Series track loaders are designed for the difficult jobs that require extra traction and stability. They're highly maneuverable, have best-in-class bucket breakout force, excellent visibility, comfortable cabs, and a large assortment of available attachments. Right now, take advantage of 0% APR financing for up to 48 months on a Kubota SVL track loader.
No one serves you better than Bullet Implement.
I am Luis, the personal assistant and loving friend to Javier and Elizabeth.
We lost our fortune. It was because of your reckless spending.
We now live with Elizabeth's sister and her son, Sammy.
It is a little warm in here.
I would never leave them, even though they are broke.
I love not having a job.
There may not be much money in that.
Yes, we are a mess, but we're also familia.
Tea?
I hate tea.
It's mostly whiskey.
I love tea.
Broke, premiering next Thursday, 9:30, 8:30 Central on CBS.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth. Get your news on the go, the CBS3 mobile app. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, this week in weather history was a rough one back in 1975. We chatted the other day when the first blizzard of 2 came. That one was March 23rd through 24th in 1975. Now today, March 26th, that's the anniversary of the second one. Only 1 day break in between the two storms. 20-foot seas on Lake Superior, a foot of snow for each storm. So we have things much gentler this week. Our Saturday system, I'm thinking it's going to be more rain than snow, but it could indeed be a mix, and we'll talk about the latest theories on what's coming our way in just a little bit. But right now we've got the current conditions for the airport in Duluth. Still sunny up there. 33 degrees is the current temp, and a southeasterly wind's going 10 miles per hour. Relative humidity is 75%, and our current regional temperatures, well, if 39 is the normal, you know, Duluth didn't quite get there, but it is cooler by the lake today. I'm still thinking that's a sign of spring. Inland, though, into the 40s. 40 International Falls, 43 Hibbing. Same deal for Grand Rapids, 45 Moose Lake. There's cooler by the lake, though, in Superior at 34, 39 Solon Springs, normal. 47, though, Hayward. Wow, that's nice. And then 35 to 45 for towns in the Upper Peninsula. I do think we will crack 50 region-wide come Monday. But from now until then, a couple of towns, especially to the south, might do that, like Hayward tomorrow. The rest of us will have to catch up come Monday. Right now, Doppler map shows higher pressure in place, and so it's on the sunnier side. There are a few light clouds skirting the Canadian border and a little bit of rain shower activity trying to come up from southwestern Minnesota, but I think the high will keep us dry through Friday. Friday should be a gorgeous day as that high pressure continues to hold on to our region, holding at bay this low pressure system from the west that wants to get us on Saturday. And right now it looks like there is a 70% chance beginning Saturday this low will bring us a rain and snow mix. Some charts, frankly, are indicating no snow at all. I'm going to stick with a mix, but I do think it'll be more rain than snow. And that could cause its own troubles, of course, because the ground is still frozen. A lot of places still have a foot or two of snow on the ground, like my backyard. And so rain on top of that may cause troubles Saturday and into Sunday morning with localized flooding we'll have to watch out for. This low could continue to affect us in a rainy way through Sunday morning. Then after that, we'll start to dry up. We'll show you the dry up time here with the 7-day forecast. That was the map for last night's chance for precip there in Wisconsin and Michigan, which frankly didn't pay off for too many towns. Now, hopefully paying off tonight is this forecast for Minnesota with low temps going 18 to 26, partly cloudy sky. Wisconsin, Michigan low temps 24 to 26, partly cloudy sky. For tomorrow, partly cloudy sky again in Wisconsin and Michigan with high temps pretty close to 50. 45 to 50 will be the range. Minnesota high temps I think will go 44 to 48 inland, low 40s by the lake, partly cloudy sky, and the 7-day forecast. 45 Friday goes to that 70% chance for the mix on Saturday, 60% chance for morning mix on Sunday. Then we break forth into sunshine again on Monday with 50 degrees achievable even here in the Twin Ports, closer to the lake, which means inland, maybe 60 could be doable, Tony. And what we need right now is a little bit of spring to brighten spirits.
I think a lot of spring and then a little bit of summer would be better.
If we're patient, summer will eventually
It'll be
come.
Here soon, yeah. And then we get to gripe about how hot it is.
You know, that's the way we roll around here, isn't
Sure
it, Tony?
is. Thanks, Dave. Well, most parents and families are taking on a new role. Teacher. Schools around the country are resorting to remote learning due to the coronavirus pandemic. That can be challenging, even more so when your child has a learning disability and requires special services. CBS 3's Emma Quinn spoke with a Hibbing mother who's getting ready for her new teaching role.
Starting next week, Lacey Grove will be homeschooling her sons Cooper and Gavin. One of her plans, keeping them in a routine.
Sure, they still have to read every day, and we did home ec class where we made muffins the other day.
Her younger son Gavin is on the autism spectrum, and she says his school has helped her take on the new role of teacher. She'll be using workbooks and online tools to help Gavin.
And the one packet was from his speech therapist, which is working on certain speech sounds with him. Another packet was from the special ed teacher, which was stuff that she knows that he knows already.
That's something teachers and families in all school districts are adapting to. In the Superior School District, Tara Gagner, the Student Services Director, says they are providing services that meet the need of each individual child.
Our students receive their support in the least restrictive environment, which is a gen ed classroom. So we're taking that material and giving them access while focusing on their individual IEP goals.
Gagner says every child has different needs and comes from a different home life. Acknowledging things will be different for everyone is important.
Meeting everybody where they're at. What works for one may not work for 4 other students.
For Grove, it'll be a new challenge.
Hard because I'm not a special ed teacher, and I'm not a speech therapist or an occupational therapist, so I only know what I know.
But a challenge that means she gets to spend more time with her boys.
The fact I get to be with my boys, I'm really happy about that.
This was the first week Wisconsin schools started remote learning. Gagner says so far they have received positive feedback from families and students.
Stay tuned. Kelly Hinseth is coming up with all the latest sports headlines coming up after the break.
Take your new Polaris from Duluth Lawn and Sports, the region's largest power sports dealer.
I don't like bullies, and I don't like you.
Star Trek Voyager.
Find heroes and icons only on My 9.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS 3.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS 3.
favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over the air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here. I've got your back.
when you want to talk, I'm here.
Work, school, grocery shopping, doctor's appointments, the gym, to the airport to pick up loved ones, to the kids' soccer games, piano lessons, out for movie night, to hear your favorite band in the city, over to Grandma and Grandpa's house, and on last year's amazing road trip. Your vehicle takes you so many places. Protect it. When you leave your vehicle, remember to always take your keys or key fob with you and lock the doors. If you suspect auto theft, contact the National Insurance Crime Bureau at 1-800-TEL-NICB. That's 1-800-TEL-NICB, or visit our website at www.nicb.org. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
So whose show is this, anyway?
Y'all feeling all the feels?
We beat the bullies.
Can I be a part of your family? Yeah! Do you like chocolate?
Yeah, I mean, like, takes care of your soul.
And your butt if you're wanting to grow?
Stop shoveling snow and watch Kelly Clarkson.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on Live Local CBS3.
Link Rec is having our Clear the Deck sale. $4 million of new and used boats must go.
Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
Well, folks, it's another day, another sportscast where we're talking about Scott Perunovich. The two-time All-American has now been named the National Collegiate Hockey Conference Player of the Year. It's the third and final major NCHC award Perunovich has been bestowed. And this is a picture of ballparks. It's supposed to be Perunovich, but just use your imagination with the 2019-2020, as earlier this week he collared his third straight Offensive Defenseman of the Year award, as well as the 3 stars honor. The junior defenseman from Hibbing, Minnesota, becomes the 9th Bulldog to ever reign as a Conference Player of the Year, with the 8th others also doing so in the Western Collegiate Hockey Association. A reminder to fans that they can take part in the voting for what would be the 7th Hobie Baker Award winner, as number 7 Scott Perunovich has made these 10 finalists, hoping to move on to the next round. You can vote at hobiebaker.com/vote. Winner of the award will be announced on April 2nd. Well, 2 weeks ago to this day, on the eve of the first round of the Division II Women's NCAA Tournament, the UMD women's basketball team was getting ready down in Missouri to make a run at a national title. Of course, as we all know, that didn't happen because of the current state of the world that we are in. That didn't stop sophomore forward Brooke Olson from becoming the 5th UMD women's basketball player to become a WBCA All-American. She is one of 10 recipients in this year's group. Prior to obtaining the national recognition, Olson also nabbed the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference Player of the Year award. Olson averaged 17.2 points a night in 27.6 minutes per game, the only player on the Bulldogs to snag double digits on the team. Whilst all of that is impressive, I had the chance to chat with Olson this morning, who weighed in on what's going on and how much bigger it is than basketball.
Wanting to compete for a national championship this year, but obviously that didn't work out. But it was like one of my goals to become an All-American, so it was a really good surprise on Monday. This whole virus that has been going through our country and like the world, it's bigger than sports. And so if it's going to save lives and if it's going to keep people protected and healthy, I mean, we have to do what we have to do. And so sacrificing that or canceling that was the best thing. Then we just have to get over it and get over ourselves and keep getting better.
Well, in what was supposed to be opening day, my dear friend and fellow sports reporter Jessica Benson from Memphis, Tennessee, has a message to all baseball fans out there. It's time for your 7th inning stretch.
All right, sports fans, get on your feet. It's time to stretch. Take me out to the quarantine. Take me away from the crowds. Throw me some TP and Clorox wipes. I don't care if you're more Lysol type. So it's root for staying home. If we don't flatten the curve, it's a shame. So it's 1, 2, all the days at home at the old quarantine.
Now I just need to send her a twins shirt. Okay, send it back to you, Kristen and Tony.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Well, with events being canceled and Northlanders being asked to stay home, the Duluth tourism industry has been hit hard. According to Visit Duluth officials, early numbers show more than $1.6 million lost already this year. That figure only takes into account revenue from the deck and hotels. Visit Duluth's president and CEO, Anna Tansky, says it's devastating. And based on Governor Walz's mandate on Wednesday, she predicts the numbers will only keep going up. Coming up at 10, we'll hear more from Tansky about why this impact could already be even greater than they think.
And before we go, a Duluth indoor air quality specialist wants to take your potentially grimy, infected surfaces and turn them shiny and germ-free. Green Home Solutions typically works to purify air quality among homes and businesses. Now, they're switching things up as the community shuts down due to growing COVID-19 concerns. The company has several indoor disinfection services to treat surfaces for active viruses and bacteria. The owner says most disinfecting services can be completed in just one day. We have more information on our website.
All right, Dave's here for a final look at the weather. Hey, Dave.
And most forecasts could be completed in one day as well. And here's the latest for tonight and tomorrow and the rest of the 7-day forecast period. Friday should be gorgeous. Partly cloudy sky, high of 45 is about 6 degrees warmer than normal. Saturday's a different story, looking at a 70% chance for a rain-snow mix. At this stage of the game, I think it's going to be more probably rain than snow, but stay tuned.
We sure will. Thanks, Dave, and thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here at 10.